Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om Ajay.
As we work through a day-to-day material world and try to work towards the journey of self-realization, one of the things that we've learned and we try to practice is the element of seva in what you're actually doing in the world. And when you're working, however, it's very easy to forget that suddenly, because you're focusing on work and your actions, and even though your intention may be to do it with a element of seva, but you tend to kind of forget that through the work day, and then suddenly at the end of the day when you're thinking about the day, you realize what you did right and wrong. So how does one improve something like that? It's at least it's not an easy thing to, on every action, or not every action, but through the day, maintain that element of seva and work.
But that very thought that you have, that I have to do seva,
right,
and throughout the day, maybe even few times you remember that,
right,
that itself has this great impact. So one must appreciate that.
right.
And therefore it is said that every day when you wake up, that in this mind there should be the Shiva Sankalpa, that I am the instrument of the divine and I am here to serve. Remind yourself that. In the daytime, occasionally at least remind yourself, and before you go to bed, introspect.
Right.
Yeah. And that way it becomes continuous.
Right.
And then when we start seeing also how peaceful the mind is, how everything just happens.
Flows.
We have to put in our effort, but everything flows. Once you see the magic of it, then you see that.
Right. So do you think it is relatively easier to understand and adopt some of these things at a slightly later phase of life for most people than for younger people? You would think so. Young people understanding some of these concepts and practicing them would be a lot more difficult. You need to experience more of life to be able to do it.
Not really. No? All education we give people when? From kindergarten
Correct.
onwards, isn't it?
Correct.
Why spiritual science should be only towards the end of life?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But I think the ability, that though I'm completely with you. In fact, even in our class, I was saying that this needs to start in school. Then we don't have to undo. In our case, we are undoing all the stuff.
Exactly. So the earlier, the better.
Right.
Because after all, even for various jobs,
Yes.
we start teaching them so early in
Sure.
life, right?
Sure.
It's not that they have to experience to know.
Sure. This is the most
we
important
give
job
them
of
the,
life. Yeah.
the knowledge of how to perform.
Right.
And then through experience, you learn more and more.
Yes.
So, really speaking, there is no age.
Correct.
The only thing is that if you get at later age, you'll regret that why did I not get it earlier.
Absolutely.
That's all.
Completely. There is no, be it this, be it the spiritual journey, or even for that matter yoga, I think it should be done with kids in kindergarten rather than so
And that's
late
why
in
it was
life.
part of our cultural upbringing. This is
Yes.
not like a supernatural, knowledge or science.
Correct.
We were taught in our homes.
Correct.
We saw our grandmothers and grandparents live
Practicing and living
We've seen our parents live it.
Yes.
And there's a living demonstration to us. Now, everybody may not get that opportunity, but there's around us so much opportunity to see
Sure.
that those who live this knowledge, they live a cultural life, they live a life of values, they live a life of concern for others, they live a life of performance, but with ease.
Correct.
And see how they are able to achieve such great things. And even if they don't, according to what people think, get great monetarily success, but they are self-sufficient, they are happy,
Sure.
they're cheerful, they've got a loving family, and that also is part of success.
You're absolutely. Monetary is nothing, is just one yardstick that people use. Absolutely. Swamiji, that was very enlightening, and I think the whole issue is to, as you said, in our journey to get it into the day-to-day practice. So I wanted to get this clarity in my mind and also find a better way to communicate some of these thoughts to the team that works with me. So thank you and Hari Om for sharing these.
You yourself are the best teacher, the best demonstrator.
Well, we work at it, but I think every day you get confused about something or the other, But that's part of the journey.
Life is full of choices, so
Yes.
confusions will be there.
Yes.
But
Correct.
if your goal is clear,
Yes.
your value systems are strong, and you have the well-being of everyone, including yourself, but
Ji.
everybody, then we find solutions.
Sure. Absolutely. Hari Om.
Very nice.